Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's Tim here from TMR Customs, and we're gonna try something different. We got some new camera gear here. We're gonna shoot videos kind of around the shop, show you guys what's up. So if you like them, obviously like, subscribe, but most importantly, post in the comments what you want to see. If you got questions about what I'm gonna talk about today, have at it, and I'll kind of show you what I got going on here at our shop. So if I spin you around here, we're in full prep mode for our King of the Hammers car. So it's October 2024, so King of the Hammers 2025 is coming up. It's under 100 days. So we're making a lot of upgrades based on what we learned last year. Last year was our first year racing down there. Participated in the rookie program, had a fun time, had some things that sucked. Ultimately learned a ton, and we're gonna try going back and just being more successful, but more importantly, having more fun. Racing is all just for a good time. Obviously, it's good promotion for our business and stuff too. Challenges us, challenges our staff. Lots of cool reasons to do it. But yeah, let me go through some of the upgrades we're making to the car so you can kind of see it's tore down now. And yeah, we're in full swing. So first, if we look, transmission. So it's not currently hooked up, but that's our Turbo 400 went down to maximum transmission. Chris and his team down there serviced it, rebuilt it, sent it back up to us. So that's going back in. And then the big upgrade, if you can see, is behind it. We've got this Magnum box from SES, and that's gonna be a reduction box that goes between our transfer case. Sorry, between the transmission and our transfer case. And our transfer case that we ran last year is an SES. So it's one speed, there's no high-low range. It's permanent four-wheel drive, engaged all the time. So what we learned down there was it was really hard for us to pick a gear that worked, say, so we could get as fast as we wanted in the desert, but as slow as we wanted in the rocks. We kind of thought we'd be able to pick an in-betweener gear because we didn't think we'd be that quick in the desert, but it turned out with lots of work on our shocks from Wayne from Alltech, on our Radful shocks, we were able to go quicker than we thought in the desert. But yeah, ultimately our performance on the rocks is kind of what hindered us. So yeah, we're gonna put in this reduction box. So it's a 272 reduction. You can see the shifter here. So that's gonna be our high and low range. So behind it will go, still an SCS on the back side of that. I can take you over and show you that. So the SCS is still, oops. There it is. So the SCS is still a single speed case. We haven't decided exactly what ratio we're gonna run in that, but that's something to play with. But at least now we've got high and low, which will help us out. High speed desert, low speed rocks. If we're looking at some of the other parts here that are off the car, we got our sway bars off. We want to likely lighten the rate on those. We found them pretty stiff, and it kind of inhibited our performance down there. So again, we're gonna work with Wayne from Alltech to get the rates figured out. So the bars are out. We had to take some measurements on the bars, measurements on the arms. So you can see the arms here. There's the little front short ones, the longer rear ones. So yeah, we sent all that information into Wayne, and he's gonna help us cook up some better rates, and then we'll either modify these bars or we'll have new ones made. So yeah, in terms of other parts off here, some of the transmission mounting, lots of the body mounting. That's our old mount for the SCS. It basically mounts to the bottom of that case, so I'm not sure if it's gonna go back on yet or if we'll craft a new one. So Steven Donovan from the Fab Lab is gonna be helping us out with a ton of the prep, as well as Adrian, who works here full-time at TMR. So other things that are on the go, I showed you the sway bars, so you can see they are out. Axle shafts are out. The whole front and rear diff, both of them came apart. We went through everything, checked out the third members, unit bearings, brakes, everything looked good. The one thing we noticed was on the axle shafts, we had put some small TIG welds to prevent the U-joints from spinning or coming out. Those fractured a bit. Nothing for us that we were concerned about, so we left those little TIG welds on and then added some new ones. So those just got done. So yeah, next week Adrian will slam home those axle shafts, and then at that point we can fill up this diff. The front diff will be totally done. Third member's already been out, checked. It's a high pinion unit from TubeWorks. Works awesome. So yeah, that's in play. Front shocks. So you can see we've only got a coilover in here. We're upgrading to the Radflow Evo series of bypass shock. Those should be built for us soon, and they'll go in. So yeah, it'll be a 3.0 5 tube, and they've jammed a bunch of fancy upgrades at it in terms of larger tubes for more flow, that sort of thing. Obviously did an oil change, simple enough. Here's a new one, which is pretty rad. Power steering pump. So that's the RDT from Radial Dynamics. We already run one of their reservoirs, and if I swing over here, you can see we run one of their filter setups on that aluminum block there. So yeah, their stuff's all pretty sweet. I feel we've always had issues with other brands of power steering pumps. Some work way better than others. I'm not going to really knock anything. The house stuff worked really well for us. But yeah, we just like Eric's stuff because he's pretty close to us. So serviceability wise, if pump's got to come out and go back to him, that's straightforward. So yeah, we got to make some new mounting brackets for that. So that's something that's in the works. Obviously, drive shafts. With that Magnum box, it shoves our transfer case back about 6 inches. So we're going to get a new shaft here. So this in right in here will be a small one. So it's going to go from a carrier bearing back to the transfer case once that's in place. So that'll be longer than our previous one was. Front drive shaft, probably same configuration. It's going to go right from here, that yoke on our carrier bearing. It's 1350 yoke down to the tube works unit. So that failed on us last year when we broke the transmission. Essentially the thing, it felt like it went into park under speed. And yeah, the transmission locked up and it chucked that drive shaft out. So that's going to have to be remade. And yeah, that's something that'll have to get serviced and go back in. Rear drive shaft, it held up fine, but obviously again, we got to connect from that guy, the yoke on the high pinion tube works third, up to the back of the transfer case once that in. So the length is going to change on that. So we got to modify that drive shaft as well as a spare drive shaft, and we've got to build spares. And one thing, we didn't carry spares on the car last year. We were of the mindset of we were trying to kind of keep the car on the lighter side, and then we chucked the front drive shaft. It's not what took us out, it was the transmission that took us out. But yeah, with that chucking a front drive shaft, we're like, okay, this can obviously easily happen. So we're gonna mount spare drive shafts on this car. We've got some cool mounts that we manufacture in conjunction with Paul Horschel. So yeah, we'll mount a front drive shaft, rear drive shaft, and tools to hopefully make those easy. Back here you can see again, sway bar is out, and there's the end link just chilling, waiting for that reworked bar diameter, and then we can put all that back together. We're gonna have to go through and service all the rod ends, misalignments, bolts, just basically inspect everything. Everything should be in pretty good shape. We'll replace obviously what needs to be. We don't wanna let something simple take us out, so anything that's remotely close to suspect, that'll get changed out. No changes in terms of our fueling or anything. We've got a 32-gallon cell from Jazz, like a fast fill up there. Yeah, that all worked good. No complaints on that side. And you can see we've got fresh limit straps in the back here. Adrian put these in this week, and we're working on these tethers. So last year we found one of our limit straps here got pinched on this bump mount. So you can see bump stop there, comes down to the pad there that we made. So one of our straps on compression was able to basically get in between the two, which isn't something we had experienced before, but yeah, it got in there, so it got a little chafe on it. So obviously we're gonna replace that where we have to get rid of that chafe. And then we make these billet blocks, which are pretty rad. So they attach to the strap. Then we're gonna hook this bungee here and probably weld a tab or an eyelet somewhere else on the chassis. And that's basically going to take up the slack. So when this axle moves up and the suspension compresses, that limit strap, it shrinks, right? So it's going to get a bow in it. So we want to take up that slack with the bungee. So we're going to pull away from the bump pad here. We're going to pull towards the chassis. That should cure that. So that's one issue we had last year that was minor, but is obviously easily curable. And then when that's in, we also got to make sure strap doesn't hit the drive shaft. The strap doesn't hit any other part in the suspension. The strap doesn't get pinched around a link or anything like that. Strap's not going to contact the brake line. We got to reroute and tie there. So yeah, that's just some figuring out, but it's all kind of the little things that that make or break. It's all kind of simple stuff, but you've got to really think it through. In terms of other changes, we got to make mounts on our axle. We want to put mounts on the trailing arm itself for a Radful Hydro Jack. So it's similar to a high lift, but it's hydraulically powered. So it's a much safer, nicer unit. We just don't have good spots to jack from. So yeah, we'll probably weld tubes or blocks somewhere on the trailing arm here. Same deal on the axle. So it'll kind of go on all the corners of the axles, the trailing arms. I don't think we'll have jack points under the belly because with that boat side, it's kind of hard to get the jack in underneath. You might be able to get the jack up here, but I think that's going to be too high. And this is all just with the intention to be able to change a spare tire efficiently. So we'll probably have jack points either on the back of the diff here, on the front of the diff here. But yeah, that'll be a block, a tube, something that'll weld at the jack foot, and we might have to modify the foot or make a foot we'll engage with. It'll slide in and allow us to pop a corner up and change a tire quickly. In the front, steering's all good, ran from Howe, FK rod ends, everything's kosher there. So we'll just inspect those bolts. We're gonna change them out. We ran those for a couple seasons locally as well as hammers, so we think just replace these guys. It'll just be the same bolt, grade 8 bolt. We'll cut it to shank it so it's proper length, and that'll go in. We made some cooling changes last year. I don't know if you could see them. So yeah, we're AN20 off the water pump into our Ron Davis rad. That all worked awesome. No issues there whatsoever. So yeah, we don't have to make any changes related to that. That's something we did just before the race last year, and that worked awesome. Front lower links are in good shape. Yeah, 2.5 inch aluminum links, and then we run 2 1/4. I believe it's 2 1/4, might be 2 inch upper links. Yeah, always good with that. That one's got a couple battle scars there from where the drive shaft rattled when it broke and came out. So yeah, you can see we've got just a mock-up torque converter in there, an older Hughes unit from our old car. That's gonna come out. It's gonna get a nice green one from Dynamic. Mark's reworking one for us right now. They build an awesome converter, so if you need one, hit them up. What else? Yeah, starters wrapped for a little bit of heat love. Oh yeah, and then we're gonna build new transmission lines going from the transmission to the cooler. We just have some maybe concerns that there be debris in the line. We just want to play it safe. It's not expensive to replace those lines, so it's not a big deal. So we got some new stuff from Racetronics. Then those lines feed up. We got like a dual, can't see it that well, CBR cooler in the back. Yeah, all good there. No issues. Our Garmin GPS worked well, PCI race radios worked well, so we just got to get more experience on that stuff and ultimately use it more. Obviously, we're not using it around here, so it's kind of hard to learn anything from it unless we're down there. So that's something else we've been working on. We picked up a second TMR chassis from a local customer, Dustin Harford. He had built it. Wasn't racing anymore, so yeah, we bought that from him. We took it down, and it's down at our friend Nacho's shop. So we met Nacho and his family last year during the rookie program. I'll spin you around here so you might as well watch me. Yeah, we met Nacho and his family in the rookie program last year, and they're local to Hammers. They're a couple hours out, and super helpful dudes. They told us if you ever want to come down here on a pre-run trip, if you want to bring stuff down, leave it at our shop, you can do so, which was like the biggest help ever. So yeah, in September, Mike and I drove down. We took that pre-runner buggy down, spent 3 days out at JV with those guys. They toured us around, kind of showed us what's what. We ran a ton of trails, learned a lot. So yeah, we're going back down in November, same deal, but since we left everything down there at Nacho's shop, this time we can just fly in, fly out. So we'll get three more days of pre-running at Hammers, which is gonna be awesome for us. And yeah, we're looking forward to that. So if you guys like this sort of content, let me know in the comments on YouTube here. And yeah, we can make more. I can do shop tour, kind of show you some of the other Jeeps. We just tucked everything away last night. I was driving a couple of them the last couple weeks because the weather's been good, but it's kind of time now to get going full bore on this car. We want to get it prepped, done, in awesome condition, and after that, as soon as this thing's prepped, wheels are on and done, we got a new trailer. It might need some modifications, but after that, we're just going full speed ahead on our new IFS kit car, which we're excited to showcase as well. So if that's something you guys want to see more of, let us know. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys later.